Everyone always asks me, Yam, what is your choice for a beginner motorcycle? Well, the answer's changed over the last few years, and you might be surprised at what I recommend in today's video for best beginner motorcycles in 2024 by the illustrious and experienced Yammy noob. Okay, what are we defining as a beginner bike in this video? Common knowledge tells us that a beginner motorcycle is usually anything with 2 or fewer cylinders, 650cc or less, 75 horsepower or less, and typically as cheap as you can get it. I don't like putting a hard and fast rule on the dollar amount because everybody's situation is different. To some people, $3,000 is a lot of money, and to other people, that's play money. So I don't like putting a dollar figure on a beginner motorcycle, but get something that you would feel comfortable dropping or just doing dumb stuff to, whatever that price range is for you. We're looking for bang for buck. We want something fun, reliable, easy to learn on, and something that you can enjoy and maintain easily. That's the biggest thing with the beginner bike. You want something that is simple, reliable, easy to maintain, and is going to allow you to just keep putting gas in the tank and going out and riding, because that's what you want to do as a beginner rider. For the sport bike simp, I still believe the Ninja 400 is the absolute best choice for a beginner rider. The beginner sport bike category is jam-packed full of stuff. You have the Yamaha R3, the CF Moto 450 SS, the new Ninja 500, the CB 300Rs. There's so many different motorcycles you can go and get in the beginner sport bike category, but I still think the Ninja 400 is goated in the sauce. You get a lovable 399cc parallel twin making 48 horsepower and about 27 foot-pounds of torque. And you might say, yeah, but there's the Ninja 500 and the CF Moto 450 SS and all these other bikes. Why is the Ninja 400 still your pick after 6 years of its initial release in 2018? It's a simple fact. It's a proven, reliable, amazing platform to learn, ride, wrench, and even get started with racing. The Ninja 400 makes a fantastic track day training tool as well, and it's a bike that you can keep even after you upgrade. That's a feature that's very rare in a beginner motorcycle. Typically, you'll see bikes that you get and then you upgrade and flip and move on. The Ninja 400 is one that would keep a spot in your stable as a track day training tool or just a fun motorcycle to keep as an additional bike or to get other people started and as a training tool for them. Now, Kawasaki is no longer making the Ninja 400, so you're gonna have to buy one lightly used, which I think is no bad thing if you're a beginner rider. You can find these all day for between $3,500 to $5,000 depending on your local area, and I still think for the sport bike simp, the Ninja 400 is top of the heap and is my choice still in 2024 as the best beginner sport bike. However, if you were to ask me, Yam, what's your best all-around pick? What would you personally recommend, not just for sport bike simps? And honestly, this may surprise you because people think I despise Hondas, but the CRF 300L Rally, I think, is the best all-around pick. So what is the CRF 300L Rally and why is it so ugly and what the heck is going on with this motorcycle? Okay, the CRF 300L Rally is a kind of touring rally spec version of the CRF 300L dual sport motorcycle that Honda makes. Now, it's important to note a dual sport motorcycle may look like a proper dirt bike, but it's designed to do street duty and off-road duty. So it's a little bit heavier than a traditional enduro-style dirt bike, but it's got usually a wider range gearbox and much more comfortable suspension. And best of all, Honda build quality and reliability and a good price point too. The Rally is going to come with a larger windshield, a bit of a larger tank, and a more substantial feel on the road, sacrificing a little bit of off-road capabilities, but still well within the realm of something I'd recommend for someone to get out and practice on the dirt. So why do I think this bike is a great all-arounder? Well, it's going to be a fantastic training tool for you to just get started with motorcycling. All of the controls are very simple and easy to understand. The bike has nice leverage. You've got a good commanding position over the machine. It feels more like a bicycle than some scrunched up little sport bike, and overall it's just a fun motorcycle. Because it's a single cylinder, it's also going to be very easy to maintain and keep reliable as well. You could go out and tackle simple little trails, have some fun with this machine, really get started and learn all the different styles of motorcycle riding. And yeah, it's a little bit ugly, I will admit, but I think as a tool, as something to just get started and really enjoy, I would personally pick a CRF 300L Rally or something similar to that as your first motorcycle. An important thing to note is the CRF 300L Rally doesn't have a sky-high seat height as well, and because it's so lightweight and narrow, you can very easily cantilever this motorcycle to the side whenever you're stopped at a light, making it so you can put 1 foot down or even 2 feet down very comfortably. A lighter motorcycle is going to be much better to learn and ride on for your first motorcycle as well, and the CRF 300L Rally tips the scales at a very nice 330-pound curb weight. It's got a willing little engine, a great reliable track record. I think the CRF 300L Rally is my personal all-rounder pick. Okay, for the guy or girl who wants to get something that they can actually grow into, this is something we hear a lot on the internet, and people recommend R6s and 1000cc motorcycles. I think that should go without saying that that's a terrible idea, but I genuinely think the SV650 is still the best grow into it motorcycle, kind of larger capacity bike that you can go and buy. This bike really is at the bleeding edge of what I would consider a beginner bike. It's a 645cc V-twin making 75 horsepower and 48 foot-pounds of torque. It's got a lot of punch. It's a substantial motorcycle, full-size bike. So if you're going to be riding this thing for the first time, make sure you're a more mature rider. Maybe you've got some experience under your belt with other types of riding or manual transmission cars or something like that, because the SV650 can bite back if you're not careful. Now, this motorcycle is not a rocket ship by any means. However, with a 3.5 second 0 to 60 time, this thing is actually pretty darn fast. If you're coming from the world of performance automobiles, the SV650 is going to feel lightning fast. But in the world of motorcycling, it's a mid-tier bike in terms of speed. The SV650 is one of the most tried and true platforms around. If you look on any forum, they're going to recommend the SV650 because number one, it's a motorcycle that is substantial, you can grow into it. Number two, it sounds wicked, it looks cool. They've been making them for many, many years, virtually unchanged, and it's got the Suzuki build quality and a Japanese reliability that you're looking for. It's difficult to recommend any other motorcycle in the plus size category that isn't the SV650. You have stuff like the Yamaha MT-07, maybe the Ninja 650, but I still think the SV650, because of its V-twin layout and just overall character and charm, it's definitely my pick. The SV also has the characteristics of the CRF 300L Rally and the Ninja 400 in that you will likely keep this motorcycle instead of just selling it and moving on to your next bike. The SV can be a commuter bike, it can be a track bike, it could even be a little off-road scrambler if you're feeling a little adventurous with it. It's a very modular platform that you can do a lot of stuff with, and you can probably find an SV650 build of the last 20 years that someone's done something with that bike. Seriously, people have done everything with the SV650, so if you dream it, you can do it with an SV650. I would personally recommend one of the SV650s post 2001. You don't want to get a carbureted SV650. That's going to add a whole layer of confusion and complication that you don't need as a beginner rider, in my opinion. Carbs are old technology, fuel injection is just way simpler, way more reliable, and if it's on a Japanese bike, you're probably never going to have any issues with it, so I would definitely stick to something post 2001. If you can stomach it, they made the Gladius, which is basically an SV650 that's a little bit ugly, and you can get really good deals on those.
Look, I know it's banana yellow to you, but Suzuki calls this color on the GSX 8R Pearl Ignite Yellow. It's actually very pretty in person, and you will get loads of looks while you're riding it because guess what? I am giving this bike away to a lucky member in the audience. I've given away over 51 motorcycles valued at over $500,000 in the last 5 years. It's been the coolest part about running this channel, and we just keep doing cool bikes all the time. Head over to yamanoob.co and pick out a t-shirt, a hat, a hoodie, whatever you'd like, and every dollar you spend on the store will be an entry to win the bike, and who knows, we might even have a sweet multiplier going on right now. So head over to the store, check it out, and don't miss it.
All right, for the commuter, the guy that just wants a bop-around motorcycle, the CB500X from Honda is my personal pick. Why is that? Well, I think the Versys 650, while being very well-rounded and kind of good, it's a little milquetoast in my opinion. I don't love the way that motorcycle looks. Kawasaki also makes the Versys X300, which is an even smaller capacity motorcycle. And while that one is a great choice and features the old Ninja 300 engine, I still don't understand why Kawasaki hasn't made a Versys 500 or 400. They just make the 300 and 650, but that's neither here nor there. I think the Honda represents better value for money. It's a little bit more substantial, comes with hard shell luggage. I think the Honda makes a great case for the guy or gal who wants a proper commuter motorcycle that they can really just chuck down miles on. If you're looking at touring or doing super long distances on your bike, you don't want something to just bop around town, you want to go out there and really see the world, I wouldn't recommend getting a huge touring style motorcycle. You really don't need that. With a simple Honda CB500X and a comfort seat and maybe some heated grips, you can go and crush as many miles as you like. The CB500X is a very comfortable motorcycle, it's a competent bike, and it actually makes a pretty good amount of power for what it is. All right, for the guy or girl who wants something a little bit different, maybe you don't want just the same bike that everyone else gets as their first beginner bike, I genuinely think the Husqvarna Svartpilen 401 is one of the best beginner motorcycles ever made. Why is that? Number one, it looks really interesting. I know looks are very important to people. People feel emotionally attached to their motorcycles. You don't want to get something that's just kind of, you know, standard sport bike or standard touring bike, standard commuter bike. The Svartpilen has a very distinct look to it, and it is just really cool in my opinion. It's been newly updated for 2024 with even more features, and this bike actually represents really good value for money. Adjustable suspension, TFT display, a punchy 399cc single cylinder engine, and that new kind of KTM build quality they've been putting into stuff. Because Svartpilen is owned by Husqvarna, which is owned by KTM, which is all the same company, and while KTM does catch some flack for being an unreliable motorcycle brand, I really think they've made a lot of strides in the last few years, especially in their small displacement category motorcycles that are built in India. The first generation RC 390s and KTM Duke 390s, they were okay. They had a lot of head gasket issues, but I think they've gotten a lot of their teething issues sorted out, and these bikes seem to be bulletproof. The Svartpilen also has the capability to kind of scramble a little bit off-road. It's not nearly as capable as the Honda CRF 300L Rally, which is why I recommend that more than the Svartpilen 401. I think that's a more complete, well-rounded motorcycle. But if you don't like the look of the CRF 300L Rally, you can do a lot of similar stuff with the Svartpilen 401, and it's just a really sweet ride. I've given one away before back in 2020. I made a ton of content about that motorcycle, and I think I'm the reason so many people bought them, because those videos got a ton of views because that motorcycle is just so good looking. If I get the chance to buy a 2024, maybe I'll do a giveaway one as well. All right, last but not least, it's for the guy or gal who wants a retro-styled motorcycle. Without a doubt, the new Triumph Speed 400 is your choice here. The price is unbeatable. $4,999 MSRP for a brand new Triumph motorcycle that looks that good. Done deal. That's my choice for the retro bike. You don't have to think anymore. Don't get a Bonneville, don't get a BMW. Literally just get the Triumph Speed 400. Disregard Royal Enfield. This bike is way more advanced than anything Royal Enfield has, except for that new Himalayan 450, but that's the only chassis you can get with that motor. The Triumph has an all-new 399cc four-cylinder engine making 40 horsepower, so it's got plenty of power and poke for you to have some fun. Everybody that's ridden this bike says it's awesome. I have yet to swing a leg over it, but the specs themselves lend themselves to this motorcycle to be just right for beginner riders. So folks, that's my choices for the best beginner bikes in 2024. I thought I'd get a nice melange of motorcycles for you guys to try out here. I didn't want to just stick to just sport bikes or just dual sports. I wanted something for everybody. Let me know what you think of my opinions down below. These are the bikes that I would recommend for beginner riders in 2024. I truly do appreciate you guys checking out today's video. Thanks so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next one. See you later. Ah, you've made it to the end of another Yummy Noob video. Aren't you just a special little cookie? Aren't you just something so great? Aren't you just, look at you, you're just so freaking cute. Why don't you go ahead and click on the next video? Why don't you go ahead, listen, hey, I'm just kidding around. Hey, listen to me. Click on the video.